Hey, it's Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? All right, I'm talking to you from a different portion of my office because we have a brand new desk here. This is yet another one from Autonomous. This is this SmartDesk 4. I'm actually using it right now, fully set up, but this video is all about just sort of a light setup of what this might look like if you put, let's say, your desktop and a monitor and some speakers, or if you even did it as a roll camera rig. Right now it's a little bit of both because I tend to use a tabletop tripod so that I can get shots like this pretty much at any table. So I can give you a quick look of what this looks like. So yes, what we're working with here is the Autonomous SmartDesk 4. I want to give a quick thanks to Autonomous for providing this desk and also for sponsoring this video. It's for that reason that I'm actually going to take this opportunity to do one of my first ever desk setup videos. I've been planning on doing something like this for a while, but I'm going to keep it very simple just for this one, just to show you a couple of the possibilities with this and what kind of canvas it provides you. Now, if you remember, I did cover an Autonomous SmartDesk in the past, and as you probably know, I'm a big fan of standing desks. I think that they do help in terms of just general health in the workplace. Now, the original SmartDesk that I featured here on the channel was more or less an overhead rig. I did have a whole setup there with like a light and a overhead camera rig in order for me to get the shots that you might be used to in a lot of my videos here. This time around though, I decided to change things up. This is actually going to be the editing workstation. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started by setting the desk up. One thing I remember from the original desk that I featured here on the channel is that the setup is actually pretty simple. It seems a bit daunting at first because it comes in two heavy boxes. I did get my brother to help me bring it up here to the office, but after that, the setup can actually be done just by yourself. It says that it would take only 5 to 10 minutes in order for it to get set up, but that's if you're using two people. I was just by myself, so clearly it took a little bit longer. But with all of that said, the frame put together and then screwed onto the tabletop. After that, you just get the motor installed and all of the connections put together, and once you plug it in, you're able to get started with a motorized standing desk. So now that the desk is set up, why don't I go through a few of the changes that have been made to the SmartDesk 4 as opposed to the SmartDesk 2, which was originally on my channel. Now, there are a few of them. One of them is a bit incremental, but still significant. Another one is actually quite important, especially for a bit of a setup that I have here in the office. And the other one is a feature that is somewhat coming soon. It's not something I can really show off right now, and I'll explain in a little bit. Let's start off with the weight limit. This is able to take 350 pounds as its lifting capacity, compared to 300 from the SmartDesk 2. Now, I asked my Autonomous contacts if this is actually safe for me to do, and they said, yeah, have at it. So I went ahead and sat on the desk and started messing with the buttons. Sure enough, I went for quite the ride. Let me tell you, being at the top, which is almost 50 inches off the ground, is kind of interesting, especially since you're just sitting down. By the way, I'm about 150 pounds, so not even half of the capacity that this desk is capable of lifting. But aside from the brawn that this desk might have, there is now more smart in SmartDesk, and in this case, it is collision detection. This is actually something that I have contended with in the past, even with crank-style desks, where I'm actually cranking the desk back downward, or I'm using the motorized SmartDesk 2 to bring it back down to a sitting size, not remembering that my chair is underneath the desk. Of course, once I start to hear the crunch of the object actually being squished by the table, I have to hit the button to stop everything. This time around, the motor can sense a bit of resistance, whether it's going up or down. That way it can sense that something is in the way and then go back to a height just before it. That way it can be safer for the object to be removed and to be operational again. Now, you can change the sensitivity depending on the direction that it's going. I decided to have the sensitivity quite high as the desk is going down. After all, I have everything on the desk. Nothing is going to fall on the desk per se, especially since even my light is clamped to the desk itself. That way it actually comes up with me and I can use it, all of this setup, easily no matter if I'm standing or sitting. But since this is a standing desk, it is nice to be able to move some of the clutter in this office to underneath the desk so that it's just not in the way, or it might not be in the background when I'm filming. However, if I do get absent-minded and I forget that something like my tripod or my slider are underneath this table, it'll be good for the table to recognize that for me, that way it doesn't just crush everything. But then there's another layer, and this is unfortunately something I can't really show right now, mainly because for now, I have a pre-production unit and the controller that connects to the motor is actually going to be updated. They're going to send me the new one later, and that one has Bluetooth connectivity. So talk about being even smarter, you can connect your smartphone to the controller for this desk, and you're able to control it using an app. But there's way more to the app than just controlling the height of the desk. You can actually set to-do lists, or you could set schedules in it. And every now and then, because this standing desk is a little bit more health conscious, it will tell you that maybe it's time for you to sit for a little while, or you have been sitting enough, let's go ahead and stand back up. And even then, it might tell you a couple of exercises that you can do while standing at your desk to keep the blood flowing. I honestly can't wait to try that stuff out once it's available to me, because I originally got into standing desks because of the health benefits. So to see that Autonomous is adding even more to that is very interesting to me. So overall, that is a look at the Autonomous SmartDesk 4, but as promised, I do want to show off a couple of things that I would put on this desk to make it a standing or sitting editing bay. Now, just like the SmartDesk 4, which is now available for pre-order, you can find everything that I'm about to talk about in links in the description down below. A couple of preliminary tools. Now first, quick disclaimer. I am not good at cable management. The best I can do is usually have them all on one side, so those of you in r/battle stations, don't at me, please. Now the tools I use though are actually really simple. I just get a power strip and use some Velcro to get it stuck to the bottom portion of the tabletop. And then I use this little raceway to stuff all of the cables in if I need to go from one side to the other. That way they're not just hanging down like some sort of weird wire hammock on the back. To be fair, the SmartDesk 4 still comes with its own bits of cable management with these little holes in the back portion so you can run cables through there. Of course, since this is going to still be one of the main places that I do my A-roll camera shots, my talking head shots, I'd still need a good light on here. And honestly, these edge lights, these circular diffused lights, are still my favorite. One thing I've learned throughout the last few months though is in order to save some space, why not just start clamping everything to the tables? That's why I have this rod here that clamps to the table, and at the top is basically the same top that you would find on a light stand. On that light stand top, I put this large edge light, which I admit is a little big. I definitely could use a slightly smaller one, but that is and has been the key light for a lot of videos where you see me on camera here in my office. From there, I had to take out the centerpiece of this desk setup, and this would be my work from home VIP. MSi actually sent this Prestige P100 desktop to me, and it has been the way that I've gotten my work done, especially when working from home, but now it is going to be a centerpiece of my office editing bay. My absolute favorite part about this desktop is the form factor. I have had huge desktops in the past, and having one like this, which is less than half the size of most towers, but with all of the power that I would need, man, that was a game changer for me. There's already an update to this particular desktop in the P100X, but my particular desktop has a Core i9-9900K, 32 gigabytes of RAM that I do still have to double up, and an RTX 2080 Super. There's even this really cool LED light that's on the front panel that gives it just a little bit of extra flair, aside from the very clean, white-colored look. Pretty simple, elegant, yet powerful, the P100 has been one of my favorite things this entire year. Now, of course, the next thing I need is a good monitor, and this is one I've had for a little bit now. You might have seen it in the background. This is a Xiaomi Mi Curved gaming monitor. It's a 34-inch monitor at 1440p resolution that also comes with a high refresh rate of 144 Hz. I've had an ultra-wide monitor before, but this is my first curved monitor, and I gotta say, I'm super happy with it. Especially for things like editing, it's good to have an entire timeline available on the bottom, easy for me to see everything that's going on as I'm editing my videos. As far as controls go, I have the glorious Model O, which is a wonderful, super lightweight, hex-designed gaming mouse. And I kept the keyboard simple. I just want to have a low-profile mechanical keyboard. This one has blue switches, and it's a very affordable one by Havit. It's also 10 keyless. And finally, for sound, I went ahead and kept things simple as well. I went for these $90 to $99 Creative T100 speakers. These are bookshelf speakers that even if there's no subwoofer, it actually comes with a pretty good punch of bass. And while these might be connected via wire to the desktop, they are also capable of Bluetooth 5 connections. And aside from a couple of other bits that I added on so that I can get this video done, this is the setup that I have. I literally am very happy with the clean look of everything. The white desk blends in with the Prestige P100 wonderfully, and especially with this large display here, I should have a lot of fun either standing or sitting, just editing and getting my videos done, once filmed of course. And so there you have it, a look at the Autonomous SmartDesk 4 as well as a sample setup so you can see what is possible with a table like this. I remember early on in my career I used crank-style standing desks, but motorized just makes life a lot easier, and with the SmartDesk 4 you have even more features to make it, well, smarter. So the Autonomous SmartDesk 4 is available now for pre-ordering. So head on over to the link down below to see not only the desk, but all of the items that I mentioned in this video. Let me know if you have a standing desk. Is it motorized? Is it from Autonomous? What do you use it for as well? At the very least, drop some likes on this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Yeah, from there, I'm gonna go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and sit down after filming this standing up for the last half hour. But until my next video, I would just remind you to enjoy your tea, everybody.